Hello folks, Typhoon Carter here, and I bring to you DPP Revival Ubers Open. This is losers finals between Evuelf, going by Nico6R5, and Crying. So, a couple things to note here is that one, both players are already guaranteed money at this point, so guaranteed top 3 finish. Whoever wins this is going to be facing FC in grand finals. But that being said, though, top 3, whoever loses here is still got to at least walk away with some money. I believe the prize pool split is a 50-30-20 split, so they'd be walking away with 20% of $555, give or take. But this is a very exciting matchup, needless to say. Both players have more than deserved to be here, with Evuelf having fought off a loss since round 6 and has remained in the tournament still, and they're so close to grand finals and could cap off, could continue their fantastic run here. And Crying, again, another fantastic player who has gotten real far in this tour. But needless to say, let's just jump right into this. So we got Deoxys attack, Kyogre lead. Deoxys attack might get Thunder off and then pop a Spike. Yep, there's the Thunder into Dialga. Dialga no full para. Does have to be careful with superpower. Some Deoxys attack do run that. Dragon Pulse has got to drop that. Evuelf will probably pivot to Giratina if he has that. But no, just got to get that Spike up. So 2 layers of Spikes is going to show up for Crying. So get some mileage there. Bronzong will guarantee at least Stealth. Oh no, just got to go for EQ instead. But Rocks will go up. Surely, or not. Interesting. This might be Hypnosis. But Ray is good. Okay, no, it does have Rocks. So Ray with trying to predict a switch there because Crying knows that, can't stay. Just got Explode there instead. So the mixed Ray not gonna get a ton of mileage. And Quillfish is gonna show up. Could perhaps get a Spike off. Could get a Destiny Bond off against Dialga. So Crying will want to play around that. But no, not even gonna bother trying to play around that. And Dialga's gonna go down. And Evuelf's own Dialga is going to show up. This looks incredibly fantastic for Evuelf here. And Ice Beam's there. That's a Scarf Ogre. And Lefty should take it. Oh! That Thunder normally does not kill, but that Dialga getting even more mileage because I think Crying was hoping to just beat the Dialga down with Ice Beam and then ensure that it dies at Hazard's next turn, but not even going to get the chance to do that. Yeah, Crying has just not been on point this game, and Giratina going to Outrage here will get the job done there, but Bronzong will probably be able to get a Toxic off if Evuelf has that. But no, just got Trick Room instead, and probably... just got Explode here to guarantee a free entry into perhaps a Tyranitar. Interesting enough, and Giratina Origin on Evuelf's end is going to show up, and we got Quillfish as well. But this Giratina is going to threaten out the Quillfish due to Trick Room being active. So yeah, Evuelf really covering both grounds here. And Draco Meteor going to drop Evuelf's own Giratina, so it was slower in fact. But the Kyogre should be able to safely get Ice Beam off, barring a crit. Thunder's there, no full para, otherwise I think Outrage might have done the job. Shao Sneak's there, try to fish for a crit, not going to get it. So Evuelf up 1-0 in this game 1 and already on match point. So Crying on the back rope, back against the wall. But this game, interesting game. I think Evuelf might have been able to make it a little bit easier. But yeah, I think Evuelf could have gotten more mileage out of mixed Rayquaza, but I understand why he went for the Draco Meteor on the Bronzong because it was probably banking on Crying actually respecting it. Might have had Overheat for all I know, but actually no, it's probably not as likely because that would have like 2 special attack dropping moves, which would be a little bit counterintuitive. I think usually Bronzong did not show its item, so there's a chance that Crying probably made that play because it was Aqua Berry, which would be perhaps. That might be a reason why, although I think when I look back on the damage logs here, I don't think it ever took Hazard's damage, so that might not be a case. But obviously it could be, it might not be, although it would seem weird to run Aqua Berry with, Kyogre, but hey, sometimes it's I mean, like, you know, with airlock being active. Yeah, actually, that doesn't really sound that bad, to be in my honest opinion. But could have been custom, could have been a bunch of items though. But cool team from both players, you know, seeing Quillfish and Giratina, almost identical structures, to be honest. Just, you know, swap the leads around a little bit. But needless to say though, we got a game 2 to cover. So we got game 2, Evuelf on match point here. And Tyranitar lead into a Groudon lead, and Tyranitar is going to be faster, but Groudon just got Fling here. Yeah, Fling Light Ball, that's a lead we've seen quite a few times, and Crying trying to counter there. So nicely done by Evuelf there, playing around a possible counter by flinging it, but really I think Evuelf was just trying to break the focus sash, and Ho-Oh going to be an immense threat to Crying's team, even with the T-Tar being a resist, and subs here. And Sacred Fire will still do a decent amount to Tyranitar. And Brave Bird going to do 31%. That is no joke at all. And Paybacks there going to do no small amount to his Ho-Oh. I expect a 40 to be in the back. And Groudon's going to show up. And Taunt's there. Interesting. Yeah, Taunt T-Tar isn't bad for slower leads such as Fortress. That's the reason why you might want to run it. Latios going to show up. Has to be careful of a possible hint Power Fire though. But you will probably look to get spikes up. No T-spikes, because I think if you had T-spikes there, you get that up regardless. You're going to just Toxic this Kyogre, so Kyogre's on a perma-timer. Okay, that makes sense though, having because that's kind of like a way to get around Giratina Origin, because that usually will dodge T-spikes. Oh yeah, that makes sense. And Bronzon's going to show up. And Wish is there. Gonna be Ho-Oh's gonna show up here and going to receive the Wish, but going to get payback there, so Crying all over that. And Giratina Alter is gonna show up. I believe this is Sub CM Dragon Pulse, but no, just go Roar out instead. Oh, this might be a Rest Roar Will-O-Wisp, like Rest Talk Will-O-Wisp. It might be attackless Giratina Origin. Because like Evuelf's probably banking on Groudon to deal with last Pokemon bulk up Dialga. That's something that these stall teams usually have issues with. And oh, nice heal block there. There's not going to be able to soft blow because of that. And Latios going to be able to get some recovery back. And Seismic Toss doing 33%, so that's a free KO. And heal block is going to last a fair bit of time. But T-Wave's there, which makes sense, because if you can't heal, then yeah, spreading status is another way to go about it. You're going to show up once again, and this is an interesting decision, but I guess if you are Rest Talk, then no biggie. And Latios is going to be worn down, although Evuelf has to be a little bit careful. Yeah, can't go Blissey there because of heal block being a factor. So might look to, oh, there's the Crest, and oh, this is not looking very good for Evuelf. Yeah, Ho-Oh is an interesting last on Sunstall. Although I think like with Groudon, Ho-Oh, Fori, I think this kind of stall team I think is also a good way for Evuelf to actually disguise the style of Sun team it is. Because usually when you see Groudon, Ho-Oh, Fori, you could think that that's an offense, so I think it just goes to show just how flexible the playstyle is, as it's gonna get exploded on right here. And this game is looking really dire for Evuelf, but Draco's there. Draco Meteor actually gonna miss and gonna actually get the Rapid Spin off. But you're still kind of in a bad spot here because of Toxic being a problem. But Kyogre's gonna show up here. Spikes are up. Crying should be able to overcome this, but for Evuelf, it's like, yeah, you have the Groudon, but this Kyogre is just still punching you down constantly. And not to mention, if Crying has Healing Wish, like that Toxic will be a non-factor too. But Darkrai's gonna show up, which is actually a horrid scenario for Evuelf, and Evuelf not T-waving there, just gonna get sniped by that. And Lunar Dances. Groudon's gonna be healed back up to full, but the problem is that's a free sleep turn. And just gonna get EQ'd there. Interesting. Ice Beam. Yeah, okay. I don't know why Crying didn't just start Void there, but I guess you didn't want to risk the miss and you want to guarantee damage, so I suppose that's not unfair of a risk to take. All 3 layers of spikes are going to show up here. And Groudon's probably going to perhaps try to swap in. Oh, nice protect there. And Crying just got to let that pump rip. Oh, double protects here. And that Kyogre not quite out and swinging. I mean, if you got Ice Beam here, I think now's a really good time to go for it. But no, just got Hydro Pump there. And that Kyogre's going to go down, but Latios is going to deal enough to at least get rid of this Groudon. If it has Grass Knot, then it's guaranteed. But no, just got Draco Meteor, no miss there. And Crying is going to win this game too. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got a game-free rubber match. Again, both players guaranteed money at this stage in the tournament. But whoever wins this is going to be moving on to Grand Finals. Extremely well played from Crying, being able to apply constant pressure to Evuelf's team, despite losing the Hazard Ward pretty convincingly. And Crying really having some nice techs like Heal Block on Latios, being able to apply tons of pressure. Like, yeah, that Blissey, and sometimes you see kind of like how Blissey being the primary special wall on some of these teams can get overwhelmed by something like Latios, especially if it has something like Heal Block to try and deny healing, right? Because you guys swap out and then bing bang boom, you got too much pressure put on you. But just goes to show just how overwhelming special attackers can be, and also like Rock's pressure too, like good stuff from Crying being able to put pressure on that whole early. But needless to say though, we got game free. So a game free rubber match. Whoever wins this is going to be going to Grand Finals. So we got 40 lead. We got 40 mirror, so both players could be bringing Stall out. And rapid spins here, nothing too exhilarating. And spikes are gonna show up. So is Crying gonna spin here? No, just gotta get T-spikes up again. And that's an interesting decision. Question is Evuelf's Fortress? Okay, Evuelf's Fortress is lefties. So yeah, you can kind of see how this is like a really weird game of chicken that we got going on here. And rapid spins again. So Evuelf try to deal with this Giratina. Yeah, go use Dialga, scout out hidden power. Dragon Claws here, so this might be bulk up or sub protect Dialga or rest talk Dialga. And spikes up here. So yeah, oh man, we got a long game of chicken here. Toxic spikes again. Yeah, like just hazards flying around the field here, and Crying using Giratina to deny this Fori. Bronzong is going to come in here, and oh, interesting. Going to get hit with that hidden power fire, but not doing a whole lot. And Ho-Oh is going to show up here, and oh, that is a tremendous threat for Evuelf's team so far, because you know, like Sacred Fire's going to pound this thing, and then Evuelf better have a fire resist of some sort, and then you know, like Sacred Fire plus Brave Bird, just a really hard combo to resist. There's the Kyogre, but the issue here is that Brave Bird can completely smack this, and oh, Sacred Fire misses there, so missing out on crucial chip damage, and Crying's gonna be forced to exit out early. And don't forget, Crying can still comfortably get a rapid spin off. And Dialga here gonna threaten the Thunder here, and oh no, you're just gonna get Stealth Rocks up, but question is, does this have Flamethrower? And oh, Payback's here trying to predict the Giratina, instead gonna get roared out, and that Fori on Evuelf's end the next time is gonna take a significant amount of hazard damage. Question is, does Evuelf have a ghost of his own? I would be surprised if Evuelf doesn't, but no, instead just going to go into Fori, and there's the rapid spin. Could go into Giratina Origin. Crying will do exactly that, and T-Spikes is going to show up again, and those T-Spikes may or may not matter, but at most, I suspect that it might only affect a limited amount of targets, and Giratina is going to show up here, so Sacred Fire might have not done the job here, and just beating this Fori down with HP Fire, even with the rain decreasing its output. And oh, so Evuelf finally shows the spin blocker. And both players have a chance to risk it, but would be unwise. Draco's here, going to do 51% to Ho-Oh, but Ho-Oh can easily sub up and get some health back. But oh, that Thunder just lives. Bronzong's going to show up here, and Ho-Oh's going to roost up, but it can just spread burns easily. Even with the rain, Sacred Fire is still going to do a lot, and then like you do not want to stay in if you're Evuelf. This is a completely terrible situation for Evuelf because you really cannot afford to greed. I mean, you could try to greed rocks up here, but you also have to get rid of the sub somehow, some way. And Sacred Fire is there, going to do 51%, even with the rain dropping its damage output. Unfortunate to not get the burn proc there. And Dialga's going to show up, and pressure will at least drain some PP there. And that's going to put down to 4 PP on Sacred Fire. And that Dialga taking a lot of damage right now. And Fori going to come in on the Dialga resting. So yeah, this is not a situation that Crying wants to see. So rest at least keeps it safe for now, but Thunder's going to get rid of the Fori, so those rocks are going to be here to stay for the rest of this game on Evuelf's end. Draco's here, Dialga living on 1% here. Actually roars out, and the Ludicolo is going to get hit with T-Spikes. That is not what Evuelf wants to see. And Draco's here, only going to do 47% here. And Leech Seed will at least compensate for some of that damage dealt. And Evuelf now can at least recover some health back. But go use Ho-Oh to try to exploit this, as Ludicolo, especially Rain Dish Ludi, does not actually run a lot of attack moves in general. And subs here, and Leech Seed's there, interesting. And Ice Beam might have not broken that sub because Ho-Oh is just very, very bulky here. And Dialga is going to show up once more. And Roost's here, and remember, Crying can't really spam Sacred Fires here. You gotta click Brave Bird, I think, to try and put some pressure on Dialga. But this is not exactly a good situation to be in. Rest here, so getting a bit of a bad roll there. 22, if Dialga's probably going to be forced to rest. Oh, that is not what you want to roll if you're able, because you're going to be forced to rest again. And Ronan's going to show up, try to take advantage of this. Finally go reset the weather. And Dialga now is going to be forced to swap out. There's a few ways you could go about this. Bronzong's going to go Rain Dish EQ, and then Evuelf might probably pivot into Kyogre to try to play around Lava Plume or Fire Punch, but no, Crying going for the Predict here. Or sorry, not Evuelf, sorry, Jesus. Dialga's gonna be sacked here, and Ho-Oh now being able to get the full power of the sun in the palm of their hands. And Kyogre's gonna show up, but here's the issue though, this Kyogre is effectively dead, so Sun's gonna stay up for the rest of the game. All Crying has to do is just look for an entry point. And I find it highly unlikely that Fori's gonna be able to get the spin off, and yep, that Kyogre's good as done. Giratina Origin's gonna show up, and Mewtwo is Crying's last, so Mewtwo on Sun offense, not unheard of here. And Fori is going to show up, probably gonna get KO'd here. Yeah, so Hazard's going to stay up for the rest of the game for both sides. And Bronzong's going to show up here. And a lot of timer being burnt on this turn, right as Mewtwo Aura Sphere's question is... Crying's down to 20 seconds, Evuelf's down to 180 seconds. Payback's there. So yeah, Mewtwo might not have enough damage output to actually damage this. Not to mention, there is also a complication of Dialga being... rested, and then Sacred Fire perhaps not doing enough, or rather not enough Sacred Fire PP, because there is 4 Sacred Fire PP. If it comes in once, it's effectively 2 as long as Dialga's on the field. But Payback's here, and Mewtwo just trying to hold on for dear life here. Oh, the issue is you're just 1 crit away from being taken out of the equation. Oh no. Recovers once more, trying to pressure stall here. Explodes. And Crying now at 60 seconds left on timer. And this is a very crucial endgame here, because it comes down to Dialga versus Ho-Oh, and Ho-Oh having enough resources to actually deal with this, and then Giratina Origin, I think Shadow Sneak might actually not do enough to KO here, and Draco Meteor could also, you know, like a Draco Miss or whatnot could swing things very easily, and if Evuelf's Giratina goes down, then Dialga could get a good Sleep Talk roll that way, and then, you know, perhaps KO to Giratina, and then, you know, Ho-Oh comes in, and then now, you know, it's already burned a turn of sleep, so that's a bit of an awkward endgame scenario. Got Shadow Sneak here, got play it safe, and Evuelf knows that it's faster, so going to Draco here, and then Ho-Oh now, and Crying with 15 seconds left, gotta make a decision here. I think Shadow Sneak may or may not KO, but... Oh! Crying ran out of time. The game's over. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, like, yeah, I'll have to screenshot up here, but yeah, no, game's over. Evuelf's gonna move on to Grand Finals, and a bit unfortunate if you're Crying, because I think for Crying, so the reason why Crying couldn't make a decision right away, had 25 seconds left on the clock, and just ran out of time, was because Crying was probably contemplating, like, trying to figure out how much Sacred Fire is going to do to Dialga in the sun, perhaps, and then there's also a factor of, you know, like, getting outraged or whatnot. Like, that was probably what Crying was looking for, but just did not have enough time, I think. But I think if you're Crying there, I think you just need it to roost there regardless of the outcome. Really unfortunate, because I think that was Crying's I think Crying had a favorable endgame, but obviously you have, like, you know, pressure being a factor too. So, man, really tough way to go out if you are Crying. But needless to say though, Crying will still walk away with some money, with a third place money. You gotta get a 20% cut of the prize pool. So congratulations to Crying for a fantastic run, and Evuelf, congratulations on making it to Grand Finals. Hopefully Evuelf will be able to finish the job. And just a reminder for everybody, just to looking forward to Grand Finals, is that Evuelf has to win 2 best of 3s, whereas his opponent FC will only have to win 1. So that being said though, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys for Grand Finals.